Hello there. Well, it's now been a while since I did my last video. I've now moved on from talking about politics to try my hand at talking about science, specifically earth and environmental science. I'm passionate about this because I like exploring nature and looking at ways in which we can integrate human systems with the environment in sustainable and creative ways, so that we can be clever at the way we live with less waste and more progress to conserve our natural resources, and of course to expand the human presence across the universe. For today, I'm going to talk about climate entrepreneurs. Now, climate activism has been quite dominant in the news these last few months, especially with the Extinction Rebellion protests and with Greta Thunberg's speech to the United Nations. What I find more significant to solving climate change is the people who have got the creative vision to bring the solutions to fix the climate and the Earth's ecosystem by creating new ways in which we as a species can cohabit with the Earth, and how we can look after our planet more effectively. Now, who do you think is more significant to fixing the Earth? Greta Thunberg or Boyan Slat? You might not have heard of Boyan Slat, but I'll tell you. He's the entrepreneur and head of a company called the Ocean Cleanup, an innovative company set up over 5 years ago to help come up with ways in which we could clean plastic and garbage which is strewn across the entire Earth's oceans. I'm a big lover of seafood myself. I love fish and chips, and one thing that I don't want to see when I bite into cod, haddock or a plaice is a little bit of microplastic, which is likely to have been found as a result of the fish swallowing it before it was caught. Now, on Saturday, Boyan Slat unveiled a brand new machine to his ocean cleanup arsenal called the Interceptor. It's a large catamaran-shaped barge that is based in rivers and streams, which catches garbage and other sorts of floating rubbish onto a conveyor belt at the front of the boat, which in turn is disposed in garbage boxes based on the boat. This can help to extract all the plastic waste that goes from the rivers into the oceans. And it's a very clever device. I've seen it in action on Ocean Cleanup's website. The boats themselves are completely autonomous and require little maintenance from human helpers. It's 100% solar powered, and as we speak there is currently one operating on a river in Indonesia. Look at the way it's catching all this garbage from this video footage. It's remarkable. One day, perhaps Indonesia's heavily pollutant-infested rivers will be so clean that the locals will be able to swim in them again without worrying about getting tangled in flotsam and jetsam as they take a dip in the water. Innovation in fixing the climate is a very essential part of solving of help of our time, I reckon within the next decade we're going to see new ideas in which we as a species can live more cleverly and effectively with our planet by creating the machines and the tools and the services so that we can become live on a world that's a lot less toxic. And one area that I would also like to see more input into is electric cars. Well, not just electric cars, but cars of all eco-friendly types, including those powered by hydrogen fuel cells. Battery technology is still relatively primitive. It requires overnight charging, and there's not really a proper infrastructure in place to allow people to go out and plug in their cars along stretches of road to allow for wireless charging, or places where they can be sure to not worry about breaking down with an empty car battery. But we should be getting there. In fact, I've seen a development in this brand new type of battery developed by a British engineer, which has the power to go on a drive on a single charge for over 1,000 miles. Compare that to an ordinary car battery of today, which has an average of around just over 180 to 200 miles. It's so efficient and so sustainable that it can go on a car powered by this battery, which uses an electrolysis type construction instead of a solid battery like that used in current designs, that you will be able to drive along the entire length of the country from London to Norwich, Leeds, Manchester, Edinburgh, Glasgow, Chester, Liverpool, and Cardiff, Bristol, Cornwall and Brighton, all the way back to London again without ever having to recharge the battery. Genius. Space exploration is also a way to solve solutions to the climate problem. My taste in science stretches back to when I was a little kid, when I was a big space geek. I loved following the stories of NASA's ambitions to colonise the planets, with ideas on how humans could create a habitat on another world, which would be so sophisticated and self-sufficient that it wouldn't even need any dependency from Earth. Recently, NASA's got a brand new spacecraft set to launch to Mars in July 2020. This space vehicle, called Mars 2020, will be travelling to the red planet, and it has a design similar to the Curiosity rover, which is currently roving around on Gale Crater, which has discovered traces of an ancient dry riverbed. But what's so special about the Mars 2020 mission is this gadget that's built on board the vehicle, called the Mars Oxygen In Situ Resource Utilisation Experiment, better known by the acronym MOXIE. MOXIE is designed to function like an artificial tree, extracting oxygen from the Martian atmosphere and converting it into oxygen. The idea behind this is that if astronauts travelling to Mars in the future will have the ability to thrive in an Earth-like colony, they will be able to use Mars's atmosphere and convert that into breathable oxygen, so that they don't need to rely on vast tanks of oxygen shipped up from Earth. This process is known in technical terms as oxygeneration. I've seen this machine right here on NASA's website at JPL, and according to this it will have an operation time of around 2 hours, which will be scheduled intermittently over the course of the mission. And I must say, I'm very, very impressed with this piece of technology. Compliments of Michael Hetch from MIT in Massachusetts. According to him, when we send humans to Mars, we will want them to return safely, and to do that they need a rocket to lift off the planet. Liquid oxygen propellant is something we could make there and not have to bring with us. One idea would be to bring an empty oxygen tank and fill it up on Mars. I can see the logic to this. Mars's atmosphere is 96% CO2, and when you take that if you can convert a sizable portion of that and store it in a human habitable structure on Mars, you can allow for prolonged stays on the red planet for months or years at a time. Climate activists like Extinction Rebellion say that there is no planet B. Well, maybe not in terms of a second planet Earth, but thanks to science, we can invent our own Earth on Mars. Now, isn't that exciting? And I would like to say to the climate scientists, the climate activists of XR and others, this: stop wasting your time protesting outside government buildings and go out there and sell the solutions. People want to see positive changes, not violent reactionary hysteria. And I can tell you, I'm doing my own bit, both as a science geek, a political activist, and a climate advocate. Me, I'm using my knowledge and showing the usefulness of the autistic brain by getting involved in this trade mission to Nigeria next year, where I will be selling earth and environmental science solutions to clean up the pollutants and other environmental issues that Nigeria is currently facing, using private sector investment. Right, now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to get back to work on ideas for the future. Now, subscribe to my blog at acckeywheel.co.uk, and if you have any other suggestions to the solutions, or what you think we could do to save the planet with ideas rather than protestations, put them in the comments below. Right, bye.